video is going to go over a little bit where you can find typeface and type specimen inspiration. And this will be for Project 2, your type specimen sheet. There are tons and tons and tons of fonts out there. And I think in most cases, a lot of those fonts are typefaces. Have at one time had a type specimen made of the font. And what a type specimen is, it's kind of like a marketing tool for the typeface. So basically, it tells a little bit about the history of the typeface, maybe gives a little bit of a design brief, tells you who the designer is, shows you the typeface and, the entire alphabet, the character set. So the alphabet, numbers, characters, punctuation. Some typefaces have accents and they're called diacritic marks. And then they'll kind of show, in some cases, how those typefaces might look in a design. So they'll kind of make up a design for that typeface. And some of them are super fun. Some type foundries have a blast. I mean, they just have a blast with these things. And one of my favorite type foundries is called Emigre. And they have done some amazing type specimens. And what they've done is, if you go to this website, and the link is on that you can go to that link, but they basically, you can buy some of their specimen sets, but some of their typeface specimens you can download for free. So you'll see in some cases, like we'll go to this chow down type specimen, so you can do a free PDF download, and you can actually see. And a lot of the Emigre magazine type specimens are very long. Obviously you're doing one sheet. Sometimes type specimens are 12 pages, 16 pages. But they'll give a little bit of a foreword, tell the story about the typeface. And then in some case, like in this, they actually made a recipe book with the typeface, which I think is kind of fun, especially because this typeface name is, I believe it is Chow Down. So, that kind of makes sense. So I'm not going to, click on these. You can kind of click through and look at some of these typefaces and the different type specimens they've created. Letterform Archive is an awesome resource. I did kind of link to the Emigre catalogs and the Emigre typefaces. But if you wanted to see old type specimens, you could just do search and just do type specimen. Specimen. And they just have a whole collection of, let's clear all. Let's just go to type specimen. Okay, so here you can see a whole bunch of type specimens that you can kind of look at. The flyers, type specimens. Letterform Archive is an awesome resource. So that's another link that you can go to. Heffler and Company, they're really more modern type designers, and so they have a type specimen you can look at. There's a really cool a website that you can put your typeface in, and it'll give you these make up words that are kind of stacked, so you can kind of show different words, and a lot of times you'll see a bunch of different characters. So that's another good resource if you want to do some do some research on type specimens. And I think this last list also has some that you can look at. I did want to show you some personal work. I just completed a 1-year postgraduate degree in type design through Type West and the Letterform Archive. So I designed 2 typefaces. One was a revival, so we kind of looked back at typefaces from the 1800s, 1900s, and we had to kind of redesign that typeface. So my typeface ended up being called Shrift. And I made a little type specimen for it. And you can see here, kind of the stacked, this was from that website. And then I showed the character set. So uppercase, lowercase, we had to do a bunch of accents, diacritics, and then punctuation. I kind of, a lot of times you'll see designers set in a paragraph of the different point sizes to see what it looks like. I just had some fun with color. And then I designed some things really quickly using the typeface, so you can kind of see what it looks like in context. And I also designed an original typeface called Edna. And this one has 3 weights. We were required to do 3 weights. So I did light, italic, and bold. She's named after one of our chickens who is no longer with us. But again, I kind of told Edna's story. This is sort of the design brief, showing the uppercase, lowercase, just the alphabet characters, and then again some stacked lettering, which I just think these are so fun. The words they pick are really funny and silly, but you can see, what the different characters look like, setting it in paragraphs, and then this is the full character set for Edna Light, Edna Italic, Edna Bold, and then just kind of a funky design with different letter forms that I really liked, the lowercase g and the lowercase a. And then in context, I designed an egg carton, a little menu, a tea, and then a hard cider. So just different things you can look at with type specimens. And I know this is a little more than what you guys will end up doing, but within your research for your typeface, discovering most of the typefaces, a lot of them are older, some of them are a little more modern, but no matter what, you should be able to find who designed it, a little bit of the history of the typeface, and then, collecting the character set, all the different weights, and just kind of starting to look into seeing, if there's funky type or ornaments or dingbats. And one other thing I did want to show you was I often mention glyphs. So in InDesign, there is a panel called glyphs. And a lot of times what the glyphs panel does is it'll have all the extra characters from that typeface. So this is Minion Pro, and you can see all of these different characters and accents and the different dingbats and stuff that Minion Pro has, which is really, really cool. And you can, if your typeface happens to have some of this stuff, you can use these little ornaments and dingbats and different things if you want on your type specimen sheet. And I know you're limited to 10 1/4 by 16 1/4, but I still think there's things you can do in the background, create a pattern, really try to have fun with this project. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to starting this project with you.